Don't add in stuff just to add in stuff, thinking that the price tag is going to be higher because you added it in. People want the easy button. All right, we're with Jess today, who is in Idaho. She used to not be in Idaho, so she's got a story of traveling across the country. She's starting a practice basically from scratch here, and wanting to do the virtual component, but possibly the brick and mortar. However, when she's killing in the virtual component, I don't think she's going to want to go brick and mortar. So we'll just figure that out right now. All right, Jess, welcome on.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
So walk us through about the last few years. What have you done? What do you want to do?
So last few years, my gosh, and it seems so much longer. So I got my master's in holistic nutrition and certified in nutrition response testing, which is muscle testing. So I worked clinically in a clinic in New Jersey.
Can I tell you who I met randomly? So I go to this mastermind event in Florida, and at this event we do stage appearances. So we get up on stage and we do like our 30-second "Who am I?" kind of thing. And then after that, we had a break, and this man like bulks over to me. I didn't know who he was. Daniele from Nutrition Response Testing. He is the CEO.
Yes.
I met him. Anyways, nice. Continue on.
I get text messages from him. Yeah, so I was doing muscle testing and clinical nutrition in a brick and mortar clinic called Practice in New Jersey for, oh my gosh, I think about 4 years I was in that office. And, it was fun. I loved what I was doing. It did take a lot out of me, seeing patients every day and, touching people for a living, especially through the events of the last couple of years. So it was interesting to say the least. As you were saying, my family and I, we wanted to get out of New Jersey. We wanted to come out into the mountains. And so we moved across the country to Idaho this past summer. So yeah, my original plan was, open up a brick and mortar, do the muscle testing out here, all of that. And basically when I stepped into your world last year, or I guess it still was this year, but the beginning of the year, I was like, you know what? I can do all of this from my home. I can build a virtual practice. So maybe I won't need to do the brick and mortar and everything. So got my certification as a functional bloodwork specialist, and I've been doing that. I was actually just reading some labs right before I hopped on to here.
Nice. That's fun.
So, yeah. So I'm at the very beginning stages of it all. So it's hard, as you know, to build something up like that.
It's not going to be hard because you did that certification and you're in the collaboration. So you're like bypassing all the hard struggles because it's like, here, let me give it to you on a platter.
Yeah. And I need the easy button. I like the easy button.
We all like the easy button. We're human beings. And if you're thinking about creating a program and you're listening to this and you're like, well, I want to add this, I want to add that, and I think if I added this, it will be more valuable, don't do it, okay? Don't add in stuff just to add in stuff, thinking that the price tag is going to be higher because you added it in. People want the easy button. Make it easy for them. So, Jess, let's make it easy for them. You've got 3 programs at your disposal. Do you want to use all 3 of them?
I do. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm really excited about the brain and the mold in particular.
Yes.
Definitely. Yeah, I'm excited to see where these go.
So when it comes to the brain and the mold, I'm targeting chronic fatigue with mold. would you like to use the same target audience?
Possibly, because that does seem to be, when, even when you're looking, as you know, like if you're looking at the labs and there's not like a ton of things out of whack and, they're still feeling the way they are. It's usually the lack of energy. Maybe there could be, chronic sinus, this and that, and chronic stomach issues and things, but, those will typically show up in the labs too. So the fatigue, that tends to be like the biggest thing that's still sticking there when it comes to the mold.
That's why one of the reasons why I created the mold program was because it's like, wait a second, why are they so exhausted? And yet their CBC is perfect. That doesn't match. And then I'd have conversations with them and they're like, wait, I go to work every day, you know, I'm exposed to mold. It's like, oh my gosh. Okay, well, we found the problem. Can you work from home? And let's get that body handling these mycotoxins
Yes.
better. So when it comes to creating your web pages, you're good for that?
Yes, I do have someone currently rebuilding my entire website, and so she's getting all that rolling together. So I'm going to have all of my landing and sales pages, and I was comparing Kajabi and Thinkific yesterday to figure out which one of those two platforms I want to hop into to use for the programs and stuff.
But if I were you starting fresh, I would go Kajabi.
That's what I'm thinking, because it does email as well.
Thinkific because I already know it.
Mm-hmm. I like that it includes email, so I don't have to use a separate platform for email and figure out how to make those two get along. Easy button.
Yeah, and I'm not sure about the pricing when it comes to emails, because I know my email list just got quite large. Now I'm thinking, oh, what's the bill going to be every single month for that?
Yeah.
If it's a virtual business, you don't have overhead. No, you do. You just have different overhead.
It's different. Yes, exactly. So it's gonna be fine. I mean, when I was looking at the pricing, I think the one for Kajabi was like, I don't know, 160. If you pay it annually, it's like less. I think it's like $199 a month, or it's like 160 or 170 a month if you pay for the whole year at once or something like that. So it's not an insane amount of money really that they're asking for all of the things that it can do.
Right. I have 4 different Thinkific accounts. So it's like every single month I have one for patients, one for practitioners. Then I'm starting a brand new fresh one for patients and a brand new fresh one for practitioners. But it's just, I mean, I looked at Go High Level. I looked at all of them. I even had somebody hired to do all my Go High Level stuff, but it really came down to, I need something fast. I need to be able to have an idea and create it and just roll with it. And with Go High Level, I mean, so many people use it. It's just, I need to be tech savvy to use that, and I'm not.
Right.
Nor do I want to have to pay a middleman to figure out, okay, here's my ideas. You go build it. And then here, like, no, it's got to be. Oh, I'm just sticking with this platform that's for me.
Right. Yeah. I may procrastinate, but once I want something done, I want it done yesterday. So
I know.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm not going to wait around a week for somebody to put something on my website. I need it done now.
Once you have Kajabi account, I mean, you can create anything in there. You work off with these 2 programs, the 3 programs, and you start seeing what people want. They get introduced to your emotion code. They get introduced to muscle testing. Now they want to work with you more of those avenues. You jump into Kajabi, you create a new program in 5 minutes. You got a payment link for them, and it's like, boom, you're ready to roll.
Yeah. I'm going to switch all my stuff over because I've been using Acuity scheduling for the last several years for emotion code and body code. It's really all that I needed. And I am able to put some programs into that I have, because I'm just doing things messy until I have everything in place.
No, we're always messy. Let's be real.
It's going to still be messy. But yeah, so I've been using that, but that it doesn't offer all of the things that I need. So I'm going to end up switching everything over. I think just to keep it all in one place, it just makes more sense.
Yeah. I didn't even know Acuity scheduling had more than just scheduling.
Yeah. So people can buy, like a package of something, you can put in for a product, a gift certificate. I do like packages of like 3 packs of sessions, and they can, I have to put it in that it's like minutes they can use and stuff, but it's worked well. I needed it to look decent and be functional, and I managed to do that. But now we're gonna move up.
Yeah. So let me give you a few. I mean, Jess already knows this because she's been in my world. But if you're like, well, I don't have a website, so what? All you need is Eventbrite or a way to host a workshop and a way for people to pay you. That's it. That's all you need. Websites can cost a lot of money. Just on a scale, well, throw out a number. How much money do you think you spent on a website?
Well, I'm spending almost $6,000 for her to rebuild it now. The one
Okay.
that I built myself on GoDaddy, I really don't remember what I paid for that. I think I pay,
We probably just bought the URL.
yeah, it's like 200 and some a year for like, yeah, for the domain. And then, it's like $5 a month for the email attached to it and this and that. And my girl is switching, the domain to be under her company rather than GoDaddy. So she's going to, switch all of that over so that I'm under her, she can do stuff for me.
Yeah. Yeah. So moral of the story, don't be the jack of all trades. Be a specialist at one, and then hire people to do their zone of genius, and you stay in your zone of genius.
Yes.
And you're like, well, I don't have the money. Jess, what do you do when you don't have the money?
I figure it out because
Exactly.
it's not about the money, and the money will come. And I absolutely believe that it is coming.
It's on its way.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be taken care of, and it always is.
It always is. Always has. Yeah. Okay. Let's dial in yours. So we're doing the 3 programs that are included in the collaboration. Are you running ads to them in January?
I do think I'm going to run ads to them because I have been doing my organic audience for a while, for the last, 6 months. And I think I have exhausted most of that. So I think I'm going to probably run ads for January.
Yeah. We'll hit that organic wall. And here's the cool part with ads. And if you're thinking like, because I don't have money, none of us have money to start this. Like we find a way, just like Jess did. She's finding a way. Okay. And I did the same thing. Like I knew that I had exhausted my organic traffic. I hit that organic wall. I was going to exhaust myself out trying to talk to the same people over and over and over again. So as soon as you get into the ad world and expand out your audience, say you spend $500 in ads, and this is the only time I would recommend running ads is if you know your back end, you know your sales processes, you know the programs that people want to buy. That's what the biggest issue is. People are running ads to a freaking webinar that's recorded, so it's lame. And then they're trying to sell a one-on-one program that people don't want to buy. There are some people who want to do one-on-one, but not very many. And you are limited to your time when you're doing that one-on-one stuff. So break free of that. Once you have that dialed in sales processes and this dialed in programs, now run ads. So she can spend just say you spend $500 in January. If you're doing the 3 different ads, maybe you go $300 to each workshop. Spread it out. And then you'll go, hey, I did better with this workshop, so I can adjust my Facebook ad money accordingly to the next round and do a little bit more to that one specific workshop and to that one program, just depending on what you see. I'll probably do something similar. So $500, say you have one person purchase your mid-ticket program that we all get inside the collaboration. You make $2,500 from it. Like that's no-brainer math. You just spent $300 and you got $2,500 profit outside of it. And that's just from one person joining the program. Right? So that's where it comes to just being brave with that Facebook ad spend. Now I'm at a point where it's like, how much can I spend? Like, I was like, asked American Express, hey, I want a higher credit card limit, please. My credit card limit is higher than most people make in a year. It's fun.
Yeah, I see myself making those phone calls sometime soon as well.
For sure. Okay, so there's the plan. Jess is pretty simple. Jess, what else are you struggling with that I can help you? Whether it be business or emotions or mindset or whatever it is.
And I'm working through a lot of things like emotionally and everything, just because, when you're putting yourself out there authentically, especially when you're doing something online like this, you have to be in a good frequency, a good spot where people notice that you're not, and then they're not going to come to you.
And you got to feel like you're safe doing it.
Yes.
That was a big thing for me. Was I had to get over, I had to get over that whole I'm safe being seen kind of thing.
Yeah, it can be pretty intimidating, especially, you never know when you're going to have that one ad or that one reel or post that suddenly lots of people are looking at, and there's all these comments underneath of it, and you feel very exposed and things like that. And of course, that's what you want. And then you're like, oh my goodness, what was I thinking? But all of these like roller coaster of emotions just kind of like go through as you're, as you're building all of this up. But yeah, working through those kinds of things and staying consistent with showing up, because when you're an online via virtual, you need to show up. You have to be there. You can't just show up like once a week or something and expect all of your followers to be like, oh, hey, there she is. So it's just one of those extra things that you have to sometimes really get yourself into. You have to really kind of get your mindset correct with it.
Yes. What I wasn't prepared for when I started to run Facebook ads was the comments that you're going to receive, the negative stuff. So I was told that you needed to get into the comments and respond to everybody. It became a toxic thing for me that I couldn't do it. So I would just let people in the comments fight each other. And then I would just say, go, 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 because the algorithm, I'm killing it right now with my
Yeah, definitely. I read through some of those comments, and there was a couple. Yeah, I saw where you were like going back and answering a couple of the things, and I think you did a really good job, saying things without, being rude, even though they were being rude.
They expect you to have this upper level class but they have
none
whatsoever.
I've actually because I've had a couple of reels that did well. So people, there were some where people were like, oh, I disagree with this or that, or I'm fine even though I eat this or that or whatever, depending on what the reel was. And there was one where people were like commenting on my body and things like that, like, oh, look at that. And I was just like, huh, like, all right. So the one I did set it so that you had to have been a follower for 24 hours to comment, because I was like, oh my gosh, like people were being really mean. And then there were people who were being very nice and understanding what I was saying too. So
I did a video when I was like 38 weeks pregnant. And of course, you can't tell I'm pregnant because you just see from like hair up, right? And some idiot said some comment to me about, something in some facial structure or something. And I was like, I really wanted to comment, I'm 38 weeks pregnant. You're an idiot right now. But of course I didn't. And I just deleted the comment and blocked him. But I wanted to.
Yeah, that's what I did too. Somebody commented on like my rear being flat or something like that. And I was like, oh, delete. Like I'm not going to entertain it.
The realities of being on social media and the realities of putting yourself out there, just know that you're safe. You're going to be seen. And reality is what I found out. I don't know if you found this too, but the people who love you and want to work with you, they never comment. They never show their presence. They just always watch in the background.
And
then they reach out to you like, hey, I'm ready.
Right. They do. They're like, oh my gosh, I want to work with you. Can you help with this? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
Yeah. So keep doing it. Keep being seen. And then the ugly people just go away. You have a big following on Facebook. Will you share with our listeners here a few things that you've done to grow that following?
So, back in the day, I ran some ads that, rather poorly, but I got some followers from that. And then I just started, I think when reels were really, like that was like the thing to do between Instagram and Facebook. So I just started posting reels that had to do with my expertise, that gave some decent information. I was my own silly self in it, used my sense of humor. Some people don't understand it, so they get offended. But I started doing reels, and I was posting a reel and stuff and adding to my stories every day. One day last May, one of my things just got a lot of attention, and it was in the course of a week, I went from about 1,700 followers to over 34,000.
Are you serious?
Yeah, there was one reel that people really gave a lot of attention to, and I guess people scrolled through my page a bit, and there was one other one that went pretty big, and then a couple others, and it just kept on blowing up over that. So just keep on showing up, and it took literally, I had my page for probably 5 or 6 years before I started showing up every day with the reels, and something clicked, and bam.
Okay.
So I didn't really have like a strategy. I was just like, oh, wow, look, there it is. So
mine was TikTok. TikTok, I blew up so fast, but then it got really derogatory. So I haven't even touched TikTok. I don't know, like a year and a half.
There's a different generation on there, and they say different things in the comments from what I'm seeing.
For some reason, the TikTok just like they have no restraint, none whatsoever.
No, they will say anything on there. I'm not on TikTok at all. I heard that to do well on there, they expect you to post, 3 to 5 times a day. And it stressed me out just even thinking about it.
I'd only do like 3 or 4 times a week, but I would post the blood work in a 20-second video, and it was all text, so people would read it. And then I would post it between 7 and 8 p.m. in the evenings. And that was prime time, and it would catch, talking 500 million views on videos.
Wow.
And then I was like, oh, I got to hire a VA to come in and handle all these comments. And then that really didn't work out. And I was just like, what, screw it. And then it became known as like, people would comment, have you ever noticed that she never comes in and comments on her feed? Like, do you people think I have time to go on to this stuff? If someone's going in and commenting, then you shouldn't follow them because they don't know what they're doing if they're not busy helping patients.
Right, like you have a life. You don't only read blood work.
Okay, well, you are set in stone. I know everything you're doing is killer. So you go be mama, and your business is going to take off like crazy.
It sure is. 2024 is going to be a huge year.
Yes, you better find your tax accountant.
Yes, I have to get that all settled out. Yeah, I know what I'm going to do, but yeah, got to get that done.
All right, Jess, thank you much.
Thank you.
Oh, really quick before we end here, can you describe what that 90-day program was like? The functional bloodwork specialist?
Oh, yeah. Oh my gosh. So yeah, when I went on to I did the CBC intensive. And by the end of that, I was so absolutely amazed at the gold that you shared with just what you can find inside the CBC. Like just that alone, I was like, oh my gosh, I need to know more about this. So it was a no-brainer for me. I was like, well, I got to figure out where I'm finding money because I'm doing this right away. And for me, the numbers of looking at this and then applying it everywhere. I completely geek out with all of that. So going through and learning all of these different patterns and ways to figure out, you're not methylating B vitamins. You need some more healthy fats here. This is looking off. There could be something going on here that's causing this inflammation. And just looking at the labs from such a different perspective and being able to go, look, I'm looking at a chemical toxicity perhaps here. And it was just you could have charged 3, 4, 5 times what you did for it, and it would have been worth absolutely every penny for the amount of knowledge that I gained from that course. Changed my life.
Thank you. All right. You heard it from Jess, not me.